So we are finally entering the last, not even mile, half a mile. We just have a couple of days done until we are finishing this period of 3 weeks that have been 3 very challenging weeks. I mean, I'm listening to students talking, and all of them are saying that this been like the 3 weirdest week of their entire life, like from the point of view of miscommunication, from the heaviness of things, from the dramas going on, and all together, like the world, this seems to kind of blow up. Every corner of the world, something is happening. So it's like been a very, very strange time. And the good news is on the Monday, the 4th of August at dusk, and the 5th of August is the last day of that negative spot, this challenging 3 weeks, because that's going to be Tisha B'Av. It's the day of the negativity. It's the day that is dedicated to the opponent on the planet. So obviously I'm going to give you guys a survival kit in a second as what to do and what not to do on that day. But very importantly, what is the opportunity that we have, this week, the whole week, including that day? Like, what is the cosmos really trying to teach us? And one of the things that for me is very predominant is when I look at both our teachers, the late Rav and Karen, the one thing that we learn from them is that with people, when it comes to people, they are always very lenient. They always like round the angles. They are never fanatic about an idea or another, or we should or we shouldn't. They are so much more like flowing than we all are. And one of the biggest lessons for the entire week is the lesson of us looking for perfection, because every one of us is a control freak in a different area of our lives. Some of us are going to be like perfectionists at work. Some of us are going to be perfectionists at home, with the children, with the homework. We all have our own horse battle that we place forward, and this has to be that way and no other way. And it can always be another way, because in the Kabbalah, everything can be bent and should be bent for the sake of people. So the biggest lesson of this week for all of us, and it happens to be also our survival kit, is to round the angles, not to go on conflict, to let go, to go like, okay, it's not exactly the way I wanted it to be. Because when we look for so much perfection, there is one factor we constantly forget about, and it's the factor of people. People are not be perfect. They're never going to be perfect. They were not perfect, and they are not perfect today, and probably will never be. We are all in a road in our own journey to understanding better our lives and what we came to do. And I think that the biggest lesson for this entire week is to learn to accept someone else's opinion. You're going to read in the forecast that the moon is in Libra. We don't seem to be like, knowing exactly what to do. That's because we are learning this whole week to take a look at the 2 sides of the coin. There is always 2 sides to every coin, not only my side. And that would be the biggest lesson of this week. So I hope that, with all the emotions and feelings that are emerging right now in the cosmos, and all the passions, and everybody is suddenly so opinionated about X, Y, and W, I hope we will remember that lesson and we will internalize it and be a little bit more. Remember, it's the month of Leo, right? The letter that created the Leo, the sign of Leo, is the letter Tet, which is the letter that goes within. This is the week where we look within, we look inward, and we look at perfecting ourselves rather than the world and the others. So I'm wishing all of you guys a good week. It's a great challenge. It's a great opportunity. It's a week that we will be victorious of. But remember, on the day itself, on Monday night and all the day Tuesday, stay very low profile, no big decisions, no making too many waves. It's a day to really, maybe almost a day of rest, I'm tempted to say, if we can afford it. But it's a day of doing as least as we can, and later on Tuesday, to get up in the middle of the day and say, okay, I'm building a new life for myself. So hopefully we'll have a great week, all of us, and we'll see you next week.